Hey coaches, we wanted to create a quick video on the instructions of how to take all the measurements for the transformation challenge that we have coming up. And this is something that you can implement into your gym, and especially whenever you go to multiple locations or potentially multiple test takers that are doing the measurements, so that you have it's all across the same staff and make sure that everyone's doing it the same way, and all the protocols for the measurement. So here I have in front of me what you'll have downloaded as a document on the Google Drive is the Transformation Challenge. This is the weight loss division. As you guys know, we have two divisions, one for those weight loss division and then one's for performance gain. So here with the weight loss division, we're going to be taking some measurements. The first will be just having the athlete's name, age, and before picture. So that's something that's really important. Obviously, once you're putting in their name, the age is key, because that's going to save you one more step of having to go into the software and looking up how old they are as a client. You don't want to have to do that. So while you're writing down their name, go ahead and ask, Damaris, how old are you? She'll tell you, you go ahead and write that down. That's important because the age is needed to factor in her body fat percentages, okay? And then this is when you also put a check mark to see whether or not she wants to do before and after pictures. Some members really don't feel comfortable doing that, but most want to see it, so we will dictate whether or not we took that for her or not. And if you do take it, then you're looking at for two different angles. Obviously, shirt off, sports bra on. For guys, just plain shirt off. And the first angle would be just straight up. She'll back up against the wall. You'll catch it from that angle, and you'll have her turn left so that you see her right profile from there. And then those are the two main angles. If you want to take more than two, you want to do a back shot, you're welcome to, but those are at least two that we want to do. All right. And then it's going to say starting weight and end weight. So on the starting weight, obviously, we're just looking for how much she weighs. I always suggest people just to go ahead and take their shoes off. That way there isn't any weird gaming situation going on. They're trying to weigh heavy to begin with and not, heavy, and then you forget to write that down. So everyone's shoes off as a rule of thumb. And just get down to their comfort level. And it's always good to have two people, two staff members whenever you're taking this test, especially with myself being a male testor and measuring a female member. Is always good to have another person in there. Ideally it's another female staff, but that's not always the case. Sometimes just having two males is fine enough. All right, so going into their body fat percentage, you'll see that here, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but the way it's written out is we've got body fat pinches for triceps, suprailiac, and then thigh. And that's going to dictate the three measurements for the female clients. And then the male will be chest instead of tricep, will be abdomen instead of suprailiac, and then also the thigh. And then just over here on the left, it'll be a place for us to write down the before measurements. And then obviously in 40 days, our after measurements. So I want to go over the quick standards of pinching properly. This is the Jackson Pollock 3-site test. There's obviously lots of ways to do it, and there's 5, 7, but we're just going to use the 3. So using the skin fold caliper here, we've got a basic baseline. You can use a Lang or a baseline one. The baselines are easiest to use. And I'm right hand dominant, so I'm going to hold this in my right side. Now, whenever measuring, you're always going to use the right side of their body. It's just a universal way, and so you're not mix matching. Okay? Now, on the tricep, I'm just going to have Damaris turn and show you guys. What I'm looking for is the top of this humerus down to the bottom of this olecranon process right here. And so that's going to be my 2 points, and I can really eyeball the middle of where that would be. I can use my hand to measure that out of where the middle of her tricep will be. If you're too high, you're going to end up going to the top of this deltoid area. You don't want to be too low either, so just again, top of the humerus, bottom of the olecranon process, right there in the middle is where I'm going to go. Now, I don't want to be on the edge here, right? I want to take it on the back side of her tricep. Another thing is when I grab, I want to do what's called a vertical fold. So I don't want to fold the skin this way. This would be a horizontal fold. See how the skin is going horizontally? I want to fold it to where the skin is vertical, up and down, just like that. Now again, being right-handed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my middle finger, my thumb, my middle finger and thumb, and I'm just going to take here, and I'm going to find the muscle, and I'm going to slide out, and right there I can feel the muscle separate, and that doesn't hurt, does it, Darius? I can feel it. I'm grabbing her tricep, and then right there it separates, and I've got this nice vertical fold. I don't want to go out here and grab just skin, okay? That actually hurts, right? Okay, so I don't want to get just the skin. I want to get fat, but I don't want to get muscle fiber, muscle belly either. So I want to separate between those two, okay? Take some practice. You can kind of feel it slide, and then boom, it's just right there. Nice vertical fold. And you want to grab it, let go of one. I'm going to come in here, put the calipers right next to my fingertips. Let it settle, meaning the calipers will kind of settle in a little bit. She's showing, if you can get that on camera, she's showing right about like a 14 millimeter, maybe 13 and a half, and that's one. I'm gonna let it go, and I'll do it again. That's about a 14, that's two. And I'll let it go and re-pinch. A third time. And is reading right at 14. So that's what I'm going to give her as a score, 14 millimeter on her tricep pinch test. Now here's one thing that's real important whenever you guys are grabbing the pinches. Whenever you grab, you want your fingers to be parallel here, right? If you flare out like that, then the skin will be like a TP, meaning it'll be really thin at the top and it'll flare out big at the bottom. And depending on where your calipers are, whether it's at the top surface or at the bottom surface, it's going to be a totally different reading, okay? So you don't want it to TP like that. You want it to be a nice and parallel, so it's no matter how deep in you pinch, it's the same measurement instead of pinching it like this, where it kind of flares out like that, and that's going to mess up your reading. So for instance, if I pinch like that, if I grab up top, it's going to show a real small 10 mil, but if I grab down bottom at the base of it, it widens out. See how it's like a 30, right? It's the same pinch. I haven't moved my fingers, so I really want to make sure that that is pulled away. It's nice and parallel. Fold, come back, and I'm hitting that 14 just again and again and again. Okay? So I take the average of the three, assuming that my three measurements are within 2 millimeter of each other. If I've got like a 14, a 15, and then a 24, then I'm going to throw that 24 out and just get a third measurement, making sure that they're all within about 2 millimeters of each other. I always like to grab, pinch, let go of the whole entire thing, do it again. Grab, pinch, let go of the whole entire thing. And you want to be within about 2 millimeter of each other, because by then you're splitting hairs when it comes to what her actual body fat will be. Okay, so for the female, the tricep. For the male, we'll switch and get Josh behind the camera. We'll show you guys that. So we're going to skip over. The male's going to be right there on the pec muscle, and female's going to go right here to the suprailiac. So I want to just have her pull up to where just her belly button, and this is where, as the testor, the person doing the pinching, you want to find her iliac crest right here, this hip bone, and it's going to curve just like this, okay? So you want that fold. Last time on the tricep it was a vertical fold. You want the fold to match her iliac crest line, okay? So what I want to do is I'm going to find right there her iliac crest, and I'm going to go an inch up and an inch over, just an eyeball. You don't have to be exact, but an inch north and then an inch over towards her belly button, okay? Right there is where I want my calipers to lie, and I'm gonna have a horizontal, I'm sorry, not horizontal, but a fold that matches her crest right there. So I'm gonna go in, 2 fingers, come in, find the muscle, grab, pinch 1, let it go, do it again, pinch 2, so at a 12, 14, and a 13. So I'll probably give her a score of 13 on that one, a 12, a 14, and a 13. Okay, and then finally, we're going to go to the thigh or the quad area. It's the same for both guys and girls. And I like to use that same rule of thumb, just using my hand. I'm going to go kneecap, iliac crest, find the midpoint, spreading my hands open, and then right there. And I'll use a vertical fold right there. Now on this one, since you're kind of pressing into them, right, you want to have them relax this leg so that her weight's off of it and she can relax and not flex that quad. The more she flexes, the harder it's going to be for you to pinch. And then obviously with tights or with pants, you want to have them pull up. So that's why it's really important to make sure everyone's wearing shorts on this one too. So same vertical fold, don't get horizontal, don't get crooked at an angle, but right there, in and out. So that's the measurements for the body fat. Let's switch out to show the male, and we'll wrap it up. All right, we're back. This time we got Josh to show us the male sights. You ready, man?
I'm ready.
All right,
let's do this.
See how cold my hands are. All right, so you guys remember on the female, it was the vertical fold on the tricep on the back side. For the guys, instead of the tricep, it is right here, the pec. And what you're looking for is you're using the axillary border, so the armpit right here, and then the nipple line, and you're going halfway. Now your fold is the same. It's going to match that angle. So remember on the girls down here it matched that crest angle. So here it's going to match that angle. So that means I'm going to grab here and just fold it just like that. Okay. Now again, I've got my caliper here. I'm holding it just like that, so it frees up my two fingers. I've got it here. I'm going to find that pec muscle. I'm going to squeeze out to get fat, which he doesn't have very much, but I don't want to get just the edge to where I'm just getting skin. Okay, that'd be skin, and again, it's really painful. All right, so not here, but right there. Got a nice fold, come in, measure it up, right at 10 if you can see that. Come again. Measuring 10 again, I let go. Just let the caliper settle. And he's getting right at 10, all three measurements. And what you don't want to do this, like that, okay?
Feel that one go.
Yeah. So, yep, come in, boom, get your 10, let go of it, and release it, okay? So that's all male athletes will have to take your shirt off and make sure they're doing that. Now, for the male athletes, instead of the superiliac crest, they're going abdomen. So in abdomen, all you're doing is going right here at the belly button and going an inch over, okay? And then you're going to have a vertical fold, and you're going to come in, making sure my hand doesn't go inside his belly button. Again, grab, nice vertical fold, come in, and notice that my pinchers are right alongside his belly button. So not too low or not too high. Okay. And use that as a landmark. And I'm getting 14, so we can get that again. Yep, right at 14. So 10 here, 14 here, okay? For the quad, he's got shorts on, so it's great for us to show this. Again, staying on his right side. I'm going to come down, have him relax. If he's standing with it locked out and all the weight's on it, and flex muscle, it's going to be tough to get in there, so you want that muscle relaxed. Shake it loose, put all the weight on his opposite leg. I'm going to come here, find his crest, find the kneecap, go halfway. Halfway is about right there for him. I want to stay in the front of it, nice vertical fold. Now, on the quad, it's typically going to be the toughest part to get because it's the tightest, and so you have to press into them and really dig into it. Now, a lot of people, by you pressing into it, they're going to feel like they're being knocked over. So one thing I like to do is I like to brace their leg right there with my other, and I can press into them. Does that make sense? You feel like you're knocking over. I can really dig into it, get the fold that I need, come in, 12 here, 12, then finally one last time, 12, all three measurements, showing that out, and I'm done, okay? All right, so that's the measurements for the body fat portion of the Transformation Challenge. So make sure that we're recording everything. It's going to go into either the paperwork that we have, or maybe you're using the a spreadsheet that we created for you guys. So we're going to come back with a second video showing you all the do's and don'ts and where to, how to measurements when it comes to all the growth measurements.